makes me happy. I notice that. I suppose a lot of meditation is just, you know, come here and then notice, and then you can report it. Makes me happy, or this sucks today. Whatever, whatever honourable report you have, good enough. So, so I'll start with a little meditation from the ancient. It's actually not ancient, but it looks ancient. Temple bell. The sound of the temple bell, and there's nothing else in the world. Ah, so feeling it, to be here on the earth. Jim Harrison has a little note in one of his late books, one about small gods. Years ago, in high green pasture near timberline, I watched a small black bear on its back, rolling back and forth and shimmying to scratch its back, pouring the air with pleasure, not likely wanting to be anywhere or anyone else. The meditation of the small black bear. So just to enjoy yourself. Just to roll on your back in the meadow, a tree line, pouring the air with pleasure. Ah, very good. That's what it's like to be alive. So just feeling what it is to be here. To feel the time, to feel, we would say, the vastness of your life. And also, you might notice limitations of your life. Here's the koan. A woman raised a goose in a bottle. And when the goose grew, as they will, and when the goose grew, she wanted to get it out of the bottle without harming the goose or breaking the bottle. How will you get the goose out of the bottle? So just, I don't know, this is one of the great predicament koans. It's a bit like the stories in the fairy tale where you have to climb a glass mountain. Being in a bottle is interesting because you can see, but you can't engage with. It's like the image of being outside the restaurant but unable to get in. How will you get out of the bottle? So, meditation just sink into the question of the koan, the situation, and let it have you, let it feel you. It's life. Let life have you. So we're not standing outside it and moving it around and wanting to understand before we have it. without having conditions. I'll accept life if it's nice to me. And on the other hand, perhaps my idea of nice is kind of narrow. So I refuse life without trying it. So the koan gives us a chance to taste life. So we can have it, at least for the time of meditation, we can have life without conditions, without warning signs. Without signs that say, do not tear the tag off this life if you want to take it back. Just enjoy the here-ness of it. Here is like that bear in the meadow. Just enjoy the here of it. And what are we doing here? This. Incredibly wonderful when we don't think we should be doing something else. Moving on to the next place. So if we begin to examine what it is like to be in this skin, having these bones as such as they are, begin to feel the time, to feel this life. Only then can we raise the question of whether we're in prison or not. A woman raised a goose in a bottle. A woman raised a goose in a bottle. We always have a predicament, you know. My predicament right now is that my daughter is a AI person. She always busts through whatever protections I have and gets to send me a message no matter what I'm doing. So I'm trying to turn off messages, but you know, that's my bottle right now. So we have to accept the bottle we have. So here we are. A woman raised a goose in a bottle, and when it grew, she wanted to get it out of the bottle without harming goose or bottle. How will you get it out of the bottle? So, you know, sometimes it's great to sit with it. We always think we're supposed to rush through a great question, but it's all right to be in the question. This is the chance for that. In the vastness of meditation, in the here-ness of meditation, in the now-ness of meditation. The here, the now, the vastness. You notice how we stop trying to get through things, they open out. They're wide, they spread. Like there's no other place I would want to be. There's nothing could make my life more complete. Just to feel the situation, you know, the mind is always as one of the ancient scriptures goes, a great artist ceaselessly producing its fictions. There's a feel the situation, to enjoy the vastness of the situation without having to draw back and think about it. Enjoy yourself. In order to enjoy yourself, in order to be free, you just have to not be chained. You just have to forget to be unhappy, to forget to be needing or wanting. And then here we are. I think I've told this story before, but part of not being in a bottle is I can tell stories again. So I knew a woman who was a Tibetan Lama, and she had been with one of the great mad lamas, and she had been his driver for years, and she'd driven him around. So, he was always very courteous and helpful. But and I said, "Well, did you ask him about the teachings?" And she said, "No, I didn't dare." And I said, "Well, did he talk to you?" And she said he would say things every now and again. He would pat me on the shoulder and say, "Enjoy yourself." And and I thought, oh, what a wonderful teaching to give. That she was definitely inclined to earnestness and devotion, which are good things. But even they can, any good thing can be a confining thing. So how do you keep yourself in your bottle? Yeah. Just go into the situation, and reservations about life. Conditions. I'll only love you if you fill in the blank. How dare you? Da 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 da. Life. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. I'll only be happy if this illness I have goes away. I insist. For my happiness, I insist on various conditions. But the wideness, if you feel it right now, you can feel we're here. In the great temple, we're also in vast space. Just to be here is in, just to be here, everything is here. It's nothing we need. Just look around your room. There are many good ways to meditate. I learned many of them. In the Zen temple, the idea was basically you have your eyes 3/4 closed and you look down at the boards on the floor, about 3 feet away, one great Zen master said. When I studied with the Tibetans, they said, you look around at the mountains and the birds wheeling. And so they're all possible ways, Look around your room, see how it welcomes you. See how this life already welcomes you before you put a condition on it. And if you demand that it welcomes you, you notice how it moves back. So look at your temple. Look at the vastness of your life. It is all the greatness of meditation. How are you going to get that goose out of the bottle? Suddenly, it's not a problem. A woman raised a goose in a bottle. I was raised in a bottle. A woman raised a goose in a bottle. And when it grew, she wanted to get it out without harming the goose or the bottle. Enjoy yourself. It might happen. For a long time, it never occurred to me that meditation had anything to do with enjoyment or delight. And I was right in a way that you can't reach for delight. If you reach for it, you have the reaching. If you strive for it, you have the striving. But in some way you might find it's already here. Somebody asked Linji, one of the greatest of koan masters, what do you teach? And he said, I don't teach anything, I just strike off locks and bolts. and, so, and so then you're here. If you haven't erected the castle or the fortress of your own reasons not to be here, if we haven't carefully cultivated our suffering, we're here. And we didn't even care about the attitudes and the injustices of the past, or even of the present. We're here. We would not give this long, beautiful day up for anything. And silence itself holds us. Well, there's always that noise, whatever the noise going on is, Little swoosh of tires, the hawk screaming and enjoying itself. Teaching its young, look, this is how you scream. Completely at peace, like the bear in the meadow. Like the human in the temple. This beautiful life that we're having right now, not tomorrow. Not when we improve ourselves, not when somebody else stops being so annoying. Not when the great things, we don't have to wait till the great things are resolved, because the great issues are always going to be here. Global warming and injustice. We can have our joy right now. Nowhere else. One of the great teachers, the great horse ancestor, he was very big, like 7 foot tall. If they'd had basketball, he would have been a great basketball player. And he came to his teacher, and he just stood there. He didn't bow. He just stood there, and the teacher said, "Magnificent, imposing, where do you come from?" And he said, "Magnificent and imposing, I come from the north." And the teacher said, "What have you come for?" And he said, "Not for anything else. Nothing else than this." Yeah. You're not in the wrong life, you're not in the wrong moment. Here we are, and isn't it a joy? Just to say. Let's have it while we can. Not for anything else.